How's it going, boys? It's me, your favorite Snake Souls merchant. And if you have not watched Squid Game just yet, then, well, you flat out should. Most likely you have already heard about it or seen a couple of memes. For example, a best old dude. Oh yeah, he is truly the best old dude. The characters are likable, the characters are relatable, the show is mostly about human interaction with one another and how far can a human go to do different kind of things, plus a decent amount of mystery and intrigue and hopefulness. You want to see who survives, you want to see what happens, you want to see how they deal with the situations. The show is a flat out great out of 10. Would recommend everyone watch this. But sadly, considering it is the current year, everything needs to be more or less politicized. And so Squid Game is also politicized. Even though it is quite funny, because the main critique that people make about the show when it is politicized, they say this, this is a depiction about how bad not cannibalism, well, cannibalism is also bad, but how bad capitalism is and all of those things. Which is quite funny, honestly, because anyone who watches Squid Game and understands what's capitalism and what's communism, yeah, no one thinks like that. That's the most funny part about it. It's sad that Squid Game did not completely dodge the political stage of things, but, it's not the end of the world because the show is not as you would expect from a modern day entertainment movie slash TV series. It doesn't have any blatant, oh, this is Trump, fuck Trump references or something like that. No, it concentrates on the people and on the situations. Yeah, sure, it's a critique about humanity as a whole, but that is not on the nose. But now people are trying to make it extremely political. First, if you did not hear it, there was this thing about, Squid Games is too brutal, there's blood and death. Oh my god. Listen, if you think Squid Games is brutal and has too much blood or whatever, wow. I don't even honestly know what to tell you because, wow, that is not even remotely true, that's one. Admittedly, there are deaths and there is blood, but it's not over-the-top gore without reason. It's there when it's necessary and it conveys a point, an artistic point most of the time. So, that is all in all a good thing. But that was previously the hustle about Squid Games. Now it's all about capitalism and how bad capitalism is. Even though the author of Squid Games themselves came out and said that yes, this is something that denounces capitalism and concentrates on how bad capitalism is, it is quite hilarious, and this is the point of the video. If you have not seen Squid Games, then I will explain the idea behind it. People who are at the bottom of the food chain, who are in debt, who need money for something urgently, are down on their luck, their lives are ruined, and, they might as well be dead, and no one would theoretically miss them if they just, flat out disappeared. And then there's the rich elite who absolutely have nothing to do, so they make this game where people get up killed. And they enjoyably watch it because, let's face it, what are they gonna do? And by the way, do you think that this is not happening in real life? I can bet that this is happening in real life. Admittedly, they would not be so leisure in allowing people to leave if they voted, but, I can guarantee that this is 100% happening in real life. Fun fact, how many people do you think go missing a year? Well, I don't exactly remember the number, but the number is astronomically high. How many people go missing each year and never are found again? Yeah, that number is huge. So, it's so stealing 200, 500 people to make a game like this in real life, probably extremely possible, probably very possible with things like private yachts and whatnot existing. So yeah, that's a little bit honestly food for thought. But The funny part about Squid Game and, capitalism being bad is the idea that it portrays that this is capitalism and what this does. But the thing is, if you watch this show and you know what communism is and how communism looks like and what capitalism looks like, it's quite hilarious because Squid Game is more of a critique of communism. And this is not the first time that this happens. Every time a show like this is, well, not every time, but this has happened previously. Shows with this kind of motive that do something along these lines essentially blast capitalism, but in reality they're blasting communism. Because always the setting that they use to denounce capitalism is the setting that communism life would look like. For example, all of those people in the Squid Game, they are supposed to be equal. They have the same everything. They have the same clothes, they eat the same shitty food, and, if someone takes your food, then you pretty much are almost supposed to starve. You don't get extras. Everyone is supposed to be equal, but at the same time, people with more power try to accumulate more power. Smarter people stay back. You can already see a split there. That's the funny thing about Squid Game. Everyone gets fed shit, everyone looks the same, and essentially this is somehow supposed to be a jab at capitalism. Even though the setting is 100% communism, the people at the bottom are doing what the people at the top are telling them to do, and the people at the bottom, all of them except one dude is gonna die and take all the money for himself, while still the rich elite are just watching it and allowing it to happen, and he could be killed any moment he just decides to disobey. That is the funny part about this, because everything you see in Squid Game, while it's true that it's technically organized by rich influential people who have nothing to do better with their time, it is communism at the most basic of senses, and even at the most extended of senses. Everyone's equal, but no one's equal. Everyone's gonna die except one person who gets all the money at the end. And, well, the rich and elite still control everything the poor masses do. It is quite hilarious, and it's enforced by, well, physical power and violence if you do not do as you are told by the rich and elite. It is funny. It is really funny, because you cannot get, honestly, a better example of how communism works in a TV show by accident than in Squid Game. How the equality turns to shit, how everyone wants more, how people will always strive to not be equal, and how always the elites and powerful control everything at the end. That's what you see in the show, but somehow it's supposed to be a jab at capitalism. I guess because it is hosted by the rich and mega wealthy and powerful and people who do not have anything to do. Well, that is true, that is pretty evil and bad, but at the same time, that's not the idea of capitalism. The idea of capitalism is not that the mega wealthy just have all the power in the world and can do whatever they want to do. That's called corruption. That's the best part. That's called corruption. And corruption is bad in every sense of the word, in every situation you can possibly find. And that's what kind of makes it funny. The fact that, well, Squid Game became political and it's a jab on capitalism. Or even though when you watch the show and you know what communism looks like, that it's clearly goddamn communism at the end of the day. Admittedly, the cultural critiques about modern day society are pretty true. How people at the bottom are willing to do a lot of things to get money, and how people at the top can just, do almost anything as they want with money. But that's the same in communism and capitalism. The difference is, in communism, that's just the way the structure works. The people at the top are going to get everything the best, and they are going to be allowed to kill the people at the bottom any moment they choose, because that is communism. In capitalism, You call those people corrupt, and they are gonna go to jail if they kill people and get caught. So it is pretty funny. But again, Squid Game is definitely worth the watch. And if you don't believe me, then Best Old Dude does not like you. And Best Old Dude is Best Old Dude for a good reason. Also, there could be a second season. Anyway, now I'm gonna spoil the show for you. At the very end, the main character, the one who does everything and comes out on top, paints his hair red for no reason. It's quite stupid. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sensei. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the channel, check out the Discord, check out the Patreon, check out everything, and have a nice day. Bye-bye. Old dude loves you. In a creepy way.